And sure enough, he has on his Queen Majay has on hers. So we pushing these powerful shirts of the Apollo, and I think they got some over there that you need to get a hold to. And basically, he taking these particular babies and actually making this. This is the type of stuff we need to be into. Something that's very powerful, something that illuminates. This is the god Zarabanda, which is the god of the, tell the little boy to close the little door right there. Oh, yeah. The Zarabanda is the opening of the gateway. This whole sign symbolizes the dimension of a whole nother universe. And we'll be getting into that particular type of science as we go on. So right now what we want to do is we're going to give a big shout out to Brother C. Freemanel. Ashe. Then we're going to do libations right after the question and answer. We're going to do a little different things. So, what's that? Oh yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. You know, you got to realize, celebration and ritual changes things. You see? Changes things. Why do you think you still a lot of people stuck up in that church? Because that church got some powerful rituals. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I'm going to be honest with you. Actually, if Jesus is Horus, I talked about this before, and it doesn't matter what name you call him, if Jesus came from Horus, and the people worshiping Jesus, wouldn't they be worshiping Horus or Heru? It'd be the same thing. See, and you look at the spirit world, you know, they don't get into the political aspect about it. So in so many words, the church is actually right on time. That's the scarab, which represents the heart chakra. It's called the heart scarab. We'll be talking about that today. But that's one of the ways that, you know.
I saw it last night.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, it was on the Cartoon Network, and Justice League had a shit identical to that. It's supposed to come out of space.
Okay.
That's why I became stirred.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting because I had a dream about this about 20 years ago. Back, as a matter of fact, it was 1998. I had a dream of a spaceship called the Hemmitt Lady Kepra, which is the Kepra is the one with the beetle with the wings. And I had a dream about a spaceship, and this was back in 1988, 20 years ago, called a Hemmitt Lady Kepra. It's very interesting. So what we want to do is this sister is Brother Azazil's queen, Sister Majay. She comes with a whole lot of power, whole universe of her own. And so we're glad to have her in the house. Some of you have seen her on the videos, on the DVDs, and I'm glad to have her in the house. And she's going to come up and do a powerful poem for us. And remember, everything we do is in alignment with ceremony, and it is alignment with rituals, which actually changes not only the course of our surroundings, but it actually changes time itself. Each one of these events are major events in time that was prophesied to happen.
What's your stuff on the floor?
Just kidding.
Yeah, I don't want you to treat people hell to treat people up.
Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings, sister.
Yeah. You know, I know there's so much hate going on in this world today, so I just wrote a little piece. For that. It's called Hate. If hate had a form, what would it be? Would it smile and grin, or grit its jagged teeth? If hate had a form, what would it be? Would it flick its tongue and spew its lies with bony claws and demon eyes? If hate had a form, what would it be? Would it be ugly and contorted, its figures distorted? Or would it have a face without a clue? In other words, would that mother look just like you? If hate had a form, who would it be? Thanks.
All right.
Yes, I guess the individual has to decide what would that be. What we're going to do right now, because a lot of people, especially people who have heard me before, and the ones who haven't, we got a good little while to you to get to familiarize yourself with my particular information. But what we want to do right now is we want to change the format up a little bit, because change is supreme. As Dr. Richard King tells you, that melanin is chaos, because chaos is nothing but dark matter, the black holes in space. And melanin is nothing but the cosmic substance, not only of everything that's in the universe, but those things that's outside of this particular solar system before this particular solar system was formed. All that is in us, and that is chaos. And they got so many things now, chaos mathematics, chaos theory, and chaos magic, different things that the government has been dealing with about the last 30 years. So dealing with that change, that melanin is chaos, every now and then, no matter how rigid the rules are, every now and then something has to change. And we exemplify that in our creative process. We created the blues, we leave it alone. White folks take it. We created jazz, we leave it alone. White folks take it. You know, we create everything and then we get out of it. And some people say, why don't we stick with our stuff? But that is not what we do. If you're a creative being, you create. And something that's already been created, you see what I'm saying, is on the process of dying. So that's the laws of chaos and the laws of melanin. Change is supreme. Now change, chaos before it was called chaos in the Hebrew aspect, or the Kabbalistic, which makes it, the Kabbalistic aspect, which makes it Egyptian. Because these Hebrews are nothing but extension of the Baltimore Kamites compared to the DC Kamites, just another branch of Negroes. You see what I'm saying? Because we created everything. You know what I'm saying? So in this particular aspect, that's why we can't throw out anything. We can't throw out nothing, not even the Bible. You know, in Isaiah 45, they say, I will give you the treasures of darkness. And the book of Psalms, we know now you can't throw it out, because the book of Psalms is nothing but the love hymns from Akhenaten to Nefertiti. You see? As a matter of fact, while this is on my mind, they dug up the Dead Sea Scrolls in 1948. That would be 60 years, I think, now. This year. And they basically gave them mostly, when they've been translating them for the last 50, 60 years. And they basically gave them materials that they had already had in the Torah, the Tanakh, the Kabbalistic aspect, and later on into early Christianity, which is Gnosticism and different things. So they really didn't get a lot profound stuff. Now they got a lot more out of the Nag Hammadi library that they dug up in 1945 in Egypt, which is the Gnostic stuff, which is basically what the Old Testament was copied from and made out of. But anyway, but they did have this one thing. They had the copper Dead Sea Scrolls. And they took them years, they split them open, and they were still getting some of the same old text over and over. But they found out that they had Greek letters deposited among the Hebrew letters. And they translated the Greek letters, and it ended up saying Akhenaten. Right in the Dead Sea Scrolls. You see. So we know that these things are nothing but borrowed text from earlier things. So we're still just talking about stuff that the family brought down through the ages. But one of the Hebrew words before it was called chaos, it was called ain, or ain. Then the word ain represents in the Kabbalistic tradition the number 61. Which I was born in 1961, as well as Barack Obama. And chaos means change is supreme. And Barack Obama is saying what? Change. Which means chaos. Which means his name, 61, Ain. Which I was born in 61, we both born the same year. We both left-handed. You see, both left-handed. He's a lefty, I'm a lefty. You see what I'm saying? And we'll go into that, some other things, why the Pope had to come to meet with Barack Obama secretly. There's a reason for that. You see what I'm saying? To bear witness to a bloodline. But we're going to go into that also. You see, this Pope Benedict. You see, so, and why did he come 1 year after Queen Elizabeth came over? Because remember, she was at the Kentucky Derby, which is the date. She came the week before. You see what I'm saying? And so every art is bearing witness to the new kingdom. We're going to go into all of that too. There's a real change going on. But you got to understand what's going on in the spirit world. So right now what we want to do, we're going to change it up. We want to go into a little question and answer. You get the juice rolling. You see what I'm saying? Because your questions are actually answers. And a lot of time when I come, I speak so long to a lot of people. They get up, they leave before they can get the question off. All the ones that stay, they go, wow, it's been 6 hours. Hey, I forgot what I was going to ask you. So let's go into, anybody got a question right now? Some things are on their mind. Anything other than Barack Obama and the Pope, because we're going to get into a whole science on that. You see what I'm saying? But then again, we'll see what the deal is, because something might have to come up because it needs to. Give me some questions. Mm-hmm.
Yes, brother. How do you raise the vibration of yourself? Through meditation? What do you do?
There's several ways to do it. As a matter of fact, I have a document here that's accompanying the third eye ritual. Okay, we have the third eye ritual that was left behind by the Moors, that we had to go to the Wiccan cult to find. This is interesting because they celebrate today, yesterday, I think it started Thursday on the 1st of May, something called the Beltane. And the Beltane is basically celebrating the goddess, it's celebrating the phallus symbol. What's the name of that pole on May they wrote? The maypole. That's also the phallus symbol. And so what it is a gateway that opens. It opens. Very spiritual time, the whole month. But it started on Thursday on the 1st. And it's called the Beltane Festival of basically the spring equinox, but also this gateway of the whole May, which is the mother, May, Ma, mother, Mama, the double Ma, mother. You see what I'm saying? And that's why you have Mother's Day. It's probably one of the most important times of the year. You see what I'm saying? Also, to celebrate the Yanni. We're going to get into that. But I know what the Yanni is? The Yanni is the vagina, which is probably the most powerful energy on the planet. We'll get into all of that. But this particular time right now is very powerful, and it's called the Beltane Festival. Go on the internet and look up into this type of stuff. But so we got these things out of, we had to get that third eye ritual from the Wiccan cult, which to show you where we are. We still worried about identity. We Moors, we Egyptian, we Hebrews, and we don't realize we are all of that. And we was never just one thing. But we're so many thousands and thousands of years old till we could have been one thing at one time and another thing at another time. It's just the same thing. But when you are a primal person, it's kind of futile to argue and try to put yourself in one box. So my thing here is, somebody say, you Islam? I'm like, yeah. You Christian? I say, yeah. I say, whatever it is, you Chinese? I say, yeah. Why? Because we invented all of it. It's all ours. Like the Shang Dynasty. Shang Dynasty is started by Shango from Nigeria, which Barack Obama means, or Barack means lightning, which is Shango. And Obama means lion, which is Leo, which he's a Leo. You know what I'm saying? And even though he might not even be conscious of this stuff, it really has nothing to do with him what we even talking about. The presidency, you crazy to look for anything that's going to change your life based on the doggone government. That's not the point. We talk about the image. We'll get into that science. So we don't want to give you the wrong impression that this election is politically and economically going to change your life. Psychologically, it will. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not even talking about psychologically as far as the ego, but I'm talking about your spirit. That's a whole other thing. We'll get into that. We talking about some melanin lining up. But on this document of the third eye ritual, on the back of this is something called the zone of the fire snake. And it gives you 10 different ways to to line up the pineal, the Kundalini energy within inside yourself. And all you got to do is read this particular document, and it gives you 10 ways to line up the Kundalini. Give you an example. Total concentration. Number one, total concentration of the mind and its source, brought into intense study and research by the state of mental quintessence, one-pointed concentration and mental energy and magical symbol and sigil. So they're talking about different things that you can do. Drugs and alcohol. Well, you can, you scratch your drug, but every now and then you can take a little sip. Because that's called a fire water, and that's what the ancient Egyptians used to do. And if you do some drugs, you do some natural stuff. Get you some selenium. It was a combination I took back in '93. Real powerful. Selenium, L-lysine, and phenylalanine. Take them three together. And I lost the combination, and what it was I had the L-lysine and I had the selenium, but I forgot about the phenylalanine. Those three things went to another level. So if you're going to do the drugs, they're talking about natural things that you can take, like vitamins. You see what I'm saying? Vitamins. I also have some other things that I'm going to go into today. A juice that comes out of ancient Kemet. A juice,
Monatomic gold.
Monatomic gold is one also. Yeah, that's one that Dr. Delbert Blair sells, and you'll be hearing from him, and he'll give you the information when he comes through. Also. So those are one. But right now, this is one that you can raise the Kundalini with, as well as a Nephilim ritual that I'm selling also. There's a ritual. It's a book out of ancient Egypt, and if you can get what you want if you study it and put up this particular entity. But we also have the third eye ritual also. These things that work. So give me some other questions right quick. Yeah.
They came out with the book, The Source.
Yeah.
How does it relate to our ancient science?
The secret source?
The original source, and what's a good book now? Straight to CAUCASIAN.
Yeah. The original source. Which one?
No, not the source. The secret.
The secret source. Yeah. There's a book out called The Secret Source, and the secret source is basically they took the. You all heard of The Secret. Oprah had The Secret on and all that. And basically what they did is they took one of the Hermetic laws, one of the Hermetic laws, and which is the laws of attraction. And they made The Secret out of them, but they didn't tell you that they got those sources from some stuff called the Kabbalion, which is the Hermetic laws, which comes out of ancient Egypt, or ancient Kemet. And so it's called the Kabbalion. But anyway, there's a book out called The Secret Source. I don't have the author, but you just need the name. I might have the book up here. I might have the actual book up here. But it's called The Secret Source, which is the new one, which includes the Kabbalion. And it's interesting because the brother C. Freeman L. Let me put his picture up and get this Maulica picture from up off this thing right quick. You know what I'm saying? I don't want y'all to get a hankering. You got to be a master to master this stuff. Don't try this at home. You see what I'm saying? You see, all of the last month. So, he taught from a book called the Kabbalion by the three initiates. But this book that came out the day he died, the book came out called The Secret Source, which also has the Kabbalion included in it. And those are some of the Hermetic texts of the laws. There's different laws, the laws of mental laws, vibration, several laws. It's 7 Hermetic laws. They only took the one to give you the secret from. But so you want to access the other Hermetic laws. And I recommend this particular book because it gives you much more. Not only does it have the Kabbalion in it, but it also gives you a history of different aspects of it, and more on the original author, Hermes, on the original author Hermes, or what we call the Egyptian Tahuti or Thoth. That's where our word thought comes from. But so you want to get that book. It's called The Secret Source. They sell it at Barnes and Nobles. And it says the laws of attraction is but one of the 7 hermetic laws. Here's the other 6. So that's the one I'm promoting. Was that the question, or you had any other thing to go with it? So basically, that Kabbalion, and the reason why we say that is because he made the transition in March, and the day that he died, the book that he taught on for years came out in a new format, and it proved that basically they took the secret, which everybody's going crazy off of one law, and they're making all this money on the secret, the laws of attraction, and there's 7 other laws, or 6 others, 7 in all. And they use the laws of attraction because the simple fact that's the greed one. So you say attract money, you know you're going to get people to do something. So, but there's other ones, and if you access the other 7, you see what I'm saying? You will have a much more holistic aspect, a holistic life. So that's the one you want to get. It's called The Secret Source. Is the book you want to get. And it came out in the day he died in March, and the day he died. Another book he was working on a book called on a book dealing with the Bible being a zodiac book. And I said, why? You've been working on that since I knew you. He said, well, it's going to be about 700-800 pages. And I was like, why? He said, that way no person can bootleg it. Black people need bootleg your stuff. So I got a big book. I said, you must don't know Azariah. Azariah, man, he got some books up there that's, shoot. He got that Bull Gnostic workbook is about 600 pages, and he sure got it on his table. Spiral bound and stuff. So, but anyway, the day he died, this book came out called The Gospel of the Zodiac. And it shows you the Mark, Luke, all these particular ones are nothing but different zodiac things. So this book is broken. And I said, it's ironic that the book that you was writing, somebody wrote the book for you and put it out in both of these books. The Secret and The Gospel of the Zodiac came out the day he died. Or the day he made the transition. You see what I'm saying? So get that book, The Gospel of the Zodiac and The Secret Source. We got other books we'll tell you also to get.
I got a question, man. What's the real deal, man, behind that Jeremiah Wright thing, man?
Okay. Well, I was going to deal with that, but I'll deal with that now. Somebody got to Jeremiah Wright between the time they did those snippets. Now, let me tell you what I'm talking about. That's the Judas factor. Because he threw a monkey wrench in right in the middle of something. See, the problem here is we get so emotional. What he was saying was right, but it wasn't necessarily right for the rest of the country to hear. Right. You see, you don't discuss family business out. You see what I'm saying? That's right. Because that's not their experience. Right. You telling white folks that America's evil and this is the greatest country that has happened to them. Hell, if I was a white person, I'd say the same thing too. My God, we got it made. Or had it made. But they got tent cities now, they're not showing.
I call the house the Vortex, The
Vortex? Yeah. I started lecturing for him in when? I know it was 98.
Yeah, 98.
September or October or something. It was fall of 1998. We did about what now? How many lectures?
It was, I mean, since then?
Since then? Man.
Oh, shit, I don't know.
About 8?
I think it's been about 3 a year at least.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 3 a year.
And every time you come in, it's a minimum 2 days, sometimes 3.
Yeah, minimum 2 days. And so we've been doing this. Like I've always said, I first started here in 94. We did two for Elaine, for Sister Elaine, down at the Peach, down at the Renaissance Hotel or whatever, at that time. Did 2 for her, and then didn't get back this way until 98, until 1998. But it's been a smoker. Every time I come, it's always off the wall, powerful. The energy is always hitting. So we're going to do it again. Today we're going to do a specialized lecture. We got 2 parts. We got to do one on the rising of Ishtar, which is divine feminine energy. Divine feminine energy, and it's actually a result of what came out of the Iraqi war. And so, for every cause, there's an effect. And So there's something that did come out of that on the spiritual side. We're going to get into all that tomorrow on that particular aspect. But what I want to do here is I've been doing research in melanin for the last 11, 12 years. And so as a result, I kind of have a lot of the stuff spread out over 200 lectures. So what I decided to do was to make a compilation of this thing and compile it into one lecture, as well as the new research into that, because there's always ongoing research into the melanin thing, as well as also I did one a couple of years ago. I did one about 3 years ago in 2001. Unfortunately, it was good. It was about a good 6 hours, but it was a good 4-hour lecture. But melanin is so vast until it needs a lot more time than that. So what I want to do is to do a groundbreaking critical lecture on melanin, and a very important lecture. And if the Spirit let us, we're going to try to jam all this into one lecture, because it's just that much stuff. If you know that lecture is the fabric of the universe and the triple blackness of space, as well as above, so below, we carry it, then you know that basically melanin, there's nothing that you can deal with that doesn't have some form of melanin. Most of the research that the white boys is doing for the last 10 years has all been melanin based. Most of the drugs, most of everything is centered around melanin. So what we're going to do is today is to try to go into an elaborate array of breaking this down, the melanin, the pineal gland, and all the other stuff, and tying it together. We're going to go from things as common as the Bible, and as remote as scientific aspects of new scientific information. So we're going to try to do all of that today. Plus, like I said, I have bibliography. I always bring the ammunition, so we got enough of that type of stuff. Enough of that type of information also to break this down. So, how many people, did I ever do the 777 here where I gave the numbers and you would add them up and find out what God and goddess you were? Did I ever do that here before?
I think you did.
Hmm?
I think you did.
I think, yeah, I'll go back into some of that tomorrow just to see just how this stuff line up, because all this stuff is ongoing research. But and also we'll be giving you out information on what is good for melanin. What kind of foods, what kind of conditions you need to be in, different things like that. We'll be dealing with all of that type of aspect. I don't know whether I should break the ground now for a question and answer. A question and answer now to get the ball rolling. Or do it later, because we have a lot of material here. The Spirit been giving it to me for the last 2 days. So basically what it is I say, well, when it comes, it'll come. So, and it just started coming, so as a result, I've been working all yesterday and today just writing down stuff. It's just coming out of the head. And it's just basically remembering things over the last 12 years as well as the new stuff. And then not only that, I have to remember what bibliography goes with it, so I can give you also stuff that you can study or document this type of information. So right now I'm going to open up with a question and answer on melanin, if anybody has any questions right now. And then we can go into the actual lecture. We can go into the actual lecture as we go on. I'll start off with this passage here. This is the book Gerald Massey's Lectures. You've heard me talk about this before. This Gerald Massey's Lectures he has 6 volumes. 6 volumes out. They cost like they're $50 each paperback and probably $90 hardback. But you can get all 6. You can get a synopsis of the 6 volumes in this one book, Gerald Massey's Lectures. This is an excellent book. This is an excellent book. Massey is one of the greatest Egyptologists of all time that was shunned by his white counterparts because of the simple fact he told the truth.
Okay.
Because he told the truth. There's a chapter in this particular book called, the section is called The Devil of Darkness. The Evil in Light of Evolution, page 141, which is interesting because he's trying to give you a synopsis of what this whole devil thing is that people are scared of, and I've been talking about this for years. And to this day I say, well, I'm from the dark side, and people go, ooh, still scared of this thing. And most conscious people are still weary about, wow, man, I just don't know about all of that. But he also did a synopsis. There's a bigger one. He has one in this book where he showed the Egyptian aspect of the Christ, of Horus, and he shows the Jesus parallel. So it'll show you all of this stuff, and if you get the book of the day, his Light of the World, he shows that particular parallel. Literally hundreds of parallels of the thing between Jesus and Horus and Heru. Since then, there's a cassette that came out, and we pretty much have an access to just about all the conscious videos in the country. We have some access from different people. We got people in Atlanta, we got people in New York, and throughout the whole United States, we can pretty much put our hands on any kind of tape, which is good, because that's where it's supposed to come down to a network to free up the stuff from people hardening. There's a tape called The Naked Truth, and it deals with religion. And in that particular tape, The Naked Truth, dealing with some white boys that put this thing together in 1990, they said there's literally hundreds of parallels between Jesus and Horus, and literally hundreds of parallels between Jesus and Krishna. And these both entities predate